Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Well, I keep getting asked the same question over and over a lot of times. I'm going to address it, although I'm still going to get asked it over and over a lot of times. What's the best trucking company to go with? Really? There ain't no such thing. Put them in a bag, shake them up, pull a name out, they're all pretty much the same. They have minor differences. Serious. The question you should be asking, and you can only ask yourself, what is the best company for you to go with? And you can only determine that by asking the companies the right questions. Now first, let's determine how you are going to know what companies to call. You got a truck stop in your town? You got a fuel stop? If you do, go camp out there a little bit and watch the trucks coming in and out. Do a little count. Do it a few during the week, during the weekend, and see who's coming through your area a lot. You don't have a truck stop? Well, set at an intersection or somewhere that's got a lot of truck traffic and start watching. Do a count. If you have a truck stop, then after you start getting an idea of who's coming through there the most, start talking to them drivers. My nose is itching. What are you going to ask them when you start talking to them? Now, you have to remember the golden rule of talking to truck drivers. Do you know how to tell when they're lying? Their lips are moving. So although you have to talk to them, you have to take a grain of salt with everything they say. Now, you need to talk to more than one or two of that company. Talk to several. And remember, the disgruntled truck driver is going to be the one willing to tell you the most, because he just wants to bitch and rag that company out. It's a fact. Well, you're going to want to ask them first off, and I hope you got paper and pen. If not, you need to pause this. Go get a paper and pen, because you'll never remember all the questions you need to ask the drivers or the companies. Dadgummit. How long they've been driving? And most of them's going to lie about it. How long you been with that company? How much are they paying new drivers coming into the industry? How is their raises? How often do they start walking you up the chain? The pay chain, that is. How often they get you home? What is their home time policy? How often do they get you home on time? That's a big problem. Oh yeah, we'll have you home Friday the 15th. You don't get home till Saturday the 16th. Noon. Yeah. How happy are they with the company? What's some good things about the company? What's some bad things about the company? Now Now, if you've talked to a dozen drivers and you've weeded out the BS answers, you found out if most drivers are happy or disgruntled. Now it's time to call the recruiter. What are you going to ask the recruiter? And Stone had a list of like 50 questions he asked them. Do you have a terminal close to me? Big question. How is your pay for training? If you haven't been to school, you want to ask them, do you pay for my schooling? How long is the contract that I have to sign for you to pay for my schooling? It's another biggie. How long do I have to stay out with a trainer? Which they can't answer that one real good because that's going to depend upon your abilities. Most companies, the trainer has a lot to say about when you're ready to go. If I don't like my trainer, what is the process for me getting a different trainer? Are you a team company? You do not want teams, boys and girls. I've said that before and some didn't listen and they're regretting it. You do not want to drive teams. Trust me, it's worse than being married. How often are you going to get me home? Am I allowed to take the truck home? If I have parking close to my house, can I take my truck home? That's another biggie. Because if their yard is 50 miles or 100 miles from you, that means you got to drive that far to get to your truck. Then you got to drive that far to get back home. Now, grant you, it might only be a couple of days or a couple of times, once every couple of weeks, but still. What kind of ELDs do they run? Which you can ask later on if you come onto the channel. I guarantee you, whatever ELD they run, that's electronic log device. Somebody on the channel will have ran it, and they'll be able to tell you if it's worth a damn. Not that that's major importance to you as a rookie, because they're going to train you to use it anyway. When do I get vacation and how much? And it's probably going to be after your first year, you get a week. More than likely. How do they determine what your vacation pay is? And I always ask them about the medical insurance, although they'll swear they don't know. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they do. They know it's real expensive. But ask them anyway. As a single person or as a married person, whatever you are, what kind of cost is your insurance? Who do you have for insurance? And once you get that name, you can look them up. What is your safety rating? Your CSMV score, whatever it's called. That's just a few of the basics. Now, I'm going to step back to where I first started this, and that's telling you there's no perfect company. So this is going to play in on some of your questions. So you have to determine how to ask the questions. What do you want to do? You. What do you want to do? Are you wanting to be OTR? You want to just drive all over the country and see it? A lot of people do. Are you a married man and you want to get home every weekend? A lot of them do. If you're wanting to do OTR, you want to find out, do you have an OTR division? And if they say yes, what states do you run? And if they don't tell you all 48, then I would be trying to find out what states they actually run. Some of them would tell you they're OTR. I know a fella just talked to a company, but their OTR was, we run mostly east of the Mississippi. Well, if you live west of the Mississippi, that ain't good for you, is it? I don't suggest anybody to just hammer the east of the Mississippi unless you live there. If you live out in the Midwest and West, why in the world do you want to go put up with all that traffic? All that traffic does, it increases the chances of you getting tickets and in wrecks. Remove yourself from those situations whenever possible. And there's plenty of companies that do still run all 48. Maybe you don't want to run 48. Maybe you live in the Midwest. See if and you want to stay in the Midwest. Do you have a regional division here in the Midwest? What does it take to qualify for it? See, that the people ask if you have regional around Dallas. Yeah, we sure do. And they drop it. They don't ask no more. They sign on with a company, now they get on with a company and, oh, well, you got to be OTR for 2 years. Or you got to do this, or you got to do that. Go ahead and find out. What does it take to qualify for your regional? You want to be local? What does it take to qualify for your local? Do you have local? Now, I'll tell you now, usually it's pretty hard to get into local. You're going to have to put in your time. You're going to have to do your OTR, then you're going to have to do your regional, and you're going to have to wait for a spot to open up. Chances are, your dispatcher ain't going to tell you when a local opens up. Because if you're a good driver, he ain't going to want to lose you. He's going to want to keep you running OTR or regional. So that leads you to your next question. Does the company have some kind of employee website where I can keep track of job openings, position openings, whatever you want to call it, and keep updated on the company news? It can be very helpful. Of course, they're not going to tell you all the bad news, only the good news. What kind of equipment are they running? How old are their trucks? How old are their trailers? I'm trying to think of some more while I'm sitting there talking to you. If they're OTR regional, anything but local, you might ask them how they handle the breakdowns, roadside assist. That's always good to know. How often do they pay? How do they pay? I know some of y'all think that's a silly question, don't you? Well, guess what? It ain't. Some have direct deposit like the rest of the workforce. Some of them pay you with a ComData check over your Qualcomm. Some of them you have your own little personal card for it. Some of them they put it on your fuel card. So you need to know how they're going to pay you. And if they're doing it on the Qualcomm or on your fuel card or something, then you need to find out what system they're using, EFS, ComData, whoever, and you need to get some kind of them trucker checks to your wife. That's how she's going to need to deposit it, unless y'all know a better way. Modern technology and taking pictures of checks and stuff, well, that's all beyond me. So maybe y'all will know a better way. But there ain't no perfect company. And believe it or not, even though you think you've done your homework and you've got with the company and it's looking damn good, very few truck drivers stay with them more than a few years. It's a fact. Now, I wish that you'll find you the perfect company the first time out. Odds are against it, but it does happen. What do they call them? Unicorns? So there ain't a perfect company. They're just a good company for you. And you have to do your homework to find it. And yeah, it requires some work. Why do most of the truck drivers coming into the industry are not happy with the company they're with? They didn't do their homework. Our nation is getting to be mentally lazy. They don't want to do their homework. They want to play on Facebook, watch YouTubes, watch TV, whatever, anything but doing their homework. You're about to make a decision that's going to affect a big part of your life and your family's life if you're a married man or woman. Why wouldn't you do your work, your diligent work, your diligent duties? Why wouldn't you check them out and find out what's going on? I would. I didn't when I came into the industry. I was too stupid and naive for it. I knew truck drivers. Well, that didn't help. Do your homework. Learn from my mistake. Do your homework. With that, I'm going to remind you, God loves you. So do I. Good luck in your career. Do your homework. In case you didn't hear me, do your homework.